Hey there! If you've ever dreamed about traveling somewhere amazing without bumping into crowds of tourists, this video is made just for you. We all want those perfect moments, standing in front of a jaw-dropping view, soaking it all in without anyone else ruining the vibe. You know what I mean? No lines, no noise, just pure, peaceful beauty. Today, I'm sharing 10 fantastic destinations where you can find some of the best views on the planet and barely see a soul. Whether you want mountains, coastlines, or charming little towns, these spots will give you breathtaking sights and that rare feeling of having the place all to yourself. Let's get started. 10. The Faroe Islands, Denmark. The Faroe Islands might not be on most people's travel radar yet, and that's exactly why they make the perfect spot for stunning views without crowds. Located between Iceland and Norway, these islands are wild and dramatic, with steep cliffs, deep fjords, and rolling green hills. The small villages feel like they're frozen in time, surrounded by nature that looks untouched by humans. One of the best views comes from the village of Gassadalur, where a waterfall spills right off the cliffs into the ocean. Hiking trails here are peaceful, and because the islands don't see many tourists, you'll often find yourself all alone with incredible scenery. The weather can be a bit moody, but that only makes the landscape even more dramatic. If you want wild nature and solitude, the Faroes are a top pick. 9. Isle of Skye, Scotland. The Isle of Skye is one of Scotland's most beautiful islands, and it's easy to see why. It's famous for towering mountains, mystical fairy pools, and rugged coastline that seems made for postcards and sits. What makes Skye special is that even though it's popular, there are still plenty of quiet spots if you know where to look. If you avoid the busiest places like the Old Man of Store during peak hours, you can find trails and viewpoints that feel completely private. One of my favorite places is the Kirang, a landslip with incredible rock formations and sweeping views over valleys and the sea. You can hike for hours without seeing many people. Plus, the island's small villages offer charming places to stay with cozy pubs and local food. Skye has the perfect mix of jaw-dropping views and quiet moments. 8. Patagonia, Argentina, and Chile. Patagonia is a massive region in South America known for its wild beauty and huge open spaces. If you want mountain views, glaciers, and turquoise lakes without feeling squeezed by crowds, Patagonia is your destination. The region stretches across Argentina and Chile, offering tons of options for adventure and exploration. While some areas like Torres del Paine National Park can get busy, there are many less visited spots where you can camp or hike with barely anyone around. One place I'd recommend is the Southern Patagonian Ice Field, which is the third largest ice field in the world. The landscapes here are raw and vast. Think massive glaciers, snowy peaks, and endless skies. It's a place that makes you feel tiny and lucky at the same time. Just prepare for unpredictable weather and long travel days, because that's part of what keeps the crowds away. 7. Lofoten Islands, Norway. If you love the idea of stunning mountain views combined with coastal beauty, the Lofoten Islands in northern Norway are a dream come true. These islands lie above the Arctic Circle and offer sharp peaks rising straight from the ocean, tiny fishing villages with colorful houses, and crystal clear fjords. The great thing about Lofoten is how peaceful it feels even during the summer when days are long. It's not overrun with tourists like other Scandinavian spots, so you can hike, kayak, or simply relax with spectacular views all to yourself. Plus, in winter, you have a chance to see the northern lights dancing across the sky. The scenery is so dramatic that every turn feels like a postcard. For amazing views without crowds, the Lofoten Islands are hard to beat. 6. The Dolomites, Italy. Italy's Dolomites are a mountain range unlike any other, with sharp limestone peaks and rolling meadows filled with wildflowers. They're perfect for travelers who want epic mountain views, but don't want to deal with the busy crowds of places like the Swiss Alps. The Dolomites offer plenty of quiet hiking trails, charming alpine villages, and scenic drives with breathtaking panoramas. One of the best spots is the Alpe di Siusi, Europe's largest high-altitude meadow, where you can stroll for hours surrounded by towering cliffs and open skies. The villages here feel peaceful and authentic, and because the area is less crowded than some other parts of Italy, you get the views almost all to yourself. If you're into photography or just want to breathe fresh mountain air without the noise, the Dolomites should be on your list. 5. The Azores, Portugal. The Azores are a group of islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and they offer some of the most beautiful, untouched nature you can find in Europe. What's great about the Azores is that they're still fairly off the beaten path, so you won't have to jostle with crowds to enjoy the views. Each island has its own character, but you'll find volcanic craters filled with lakes, steep cliffs dropping into the ocean, and lush green hills everywhere you look. One highlight is São Miguel Island, where you can hike around the twin crater lakes of Sete Cidades. The views here are jaw-dropping and often completely quiet, especially if you visit during the shoulder seasons. Plus, the islands have amazing hot springs and fresh seafood to enjoy after a day of exploring. For a peaceful getaway with incredible views, the Azores are fantastic. 4. Svalbard, Norway. If you're looking for something truly remote and otherworldly, Svalbard is hard to beat. This Arctic archipelago sits halfway between Norway and the North Pole and offers a unique kind of beauty that's frozen in time. The landscape is filled with glaciers, snow-covered mountains, and endless tundra. What makes Svalbard special is how few people visit compared to other places with stunning views. You can go on boat trips to see polar bears, hike on glaciers, or just watch the sun never fully set during summer's midnight sun. The quiet here is powerful. There's nothing like standing on the edge of the Arctic wilderness knowing you're one of just a handful of people around. Traveling here takes some planning, but if you want spectacular views and absolute peace, Svalbard is a rare find. 3. The Canadian Rockies, Canada. The Canadian Rockies stretch along the border between Alberta and British Columbia and are famous for their towering peaks, turquoise lakes, and endless forests. While popular spots like Banff and Jasper get busy in summer, there are plenty of hidden corners where you can escape the crowds and enjoy spectacular views. One such place is Kootenay National Park, which is less visited but just as beautiful. The hiking trails here lead to quiet alpine meadows, waterfalls, and stunning viewpoints that feel completely private. Another great way to avoid crowds is to visit early in the morning or late in the day when the parks are much quieter. Whether you want to kayak on a peaceful lake or hike through untouched wilderness, the Canadian Rockies offer some of the best views with fewer people around than you might expect. 2. Madagascar might not be the first place that comes to mind for incredible views, but this island off the coast of Africa is one of the most unique and beautiful places on Earth. The landscapes here range from spiny forests to towering limestone formations and pristine beaches. Because Madagascar is still relatively undiscovered by mass tourism, many of its best spots are quiet and feel like real adventures. One of the highlights is the Tsingy de Bamaraha National Park, where sharp limestone needles create a surreal landscape unlike anything else. Hiking here is exciting, and you'll often find yourself alone surrounded by bizarre rock formations and native wildlife. Plus, the island's diverse ecosystems offer plenty of chances to see animals you won't find anywhere else. If you want amazing views mixed with a sense of discovery, Madagascar is a fantastic choice. 1. The Highlands, Iceland. Topping the list at number 1 is the Icelandic Highlands. This vast, remote region covers much of the island's interior and is one of the most untouched places in Europe. The Highlands are full of volcanic landscapes, lava fields, colorful mountains, hot springs, and wide open spaces that feel endless. The best part, almost no one goes there compared to Iceland's famous spots like the Golden Circle or Reykjavik. Traveling in the Highlands can be a bit challenging because the roads are rough and often only accessible in summer, but the reward is huge. You get views that seem from another planet with hardly a soul in sight. Places like Landmannalaugar offer stunning hiking routes surrounded by rhyolite mountains that glow in bright colors. The silence, the vastness, and the raw beauty here make the Icelandic Highlands the ultimate spot for great views and very few people. So there you have it, 10 amazing places to travel where you can enjoy some of the best views on Earth without fighting through crowds. Whether it's the wild beauty of the Faroe Islands, the peaceful trails of the Canadian Rockies, or the surreal landscapes of Iceland's Highlands, these destinations prove you don't have to follow the usual tourist paths to find unforgettable sights. I hope this list inspires you to try somewhere new and enjoy those quiet moments that make traveling truly special.